people of the tube, and welcome to my 6-string journey. On this channel I'm documenting my journey learning to play the electric guitar, my highs, my lows, reviews of my lessons, gear that I use, just about everything to do with this journey. Now this is going to be a quick video with regards to where I am with the journey. Quite a lot's happened just recently. Not least, a few of you have been asking how the chords are going. As you could probably hear, they are getting there, but terribly slowly. What I'm actually trying to do now is, rather than using anchor fingers, I am trying to lift my fingers off and form the chords in the air. For the first time last night, I actually did a G chord in the air and hit it. So I am going to be doing a video on chords because quite a lot of you have been asking how I'm getting on, and it seems that I'm not alone, particularly with the mature guitarists, in struggling with chords. And I've got had quite a bit of thinking about that over the winter, and it's quite interesting the way that chords are taught online and people's actual realization and when they start to play them. So I'm probably going to write a video and dedicate a video to that. But today is all about, I won't say my last lesson, but I did get together with Michael for half an hour on the 14th of April. And I'm a little bit behind with releasing this video because I decided to upgrade my BT package for the first time in 10 years for the broadband. And unfortunately, rather than them upgrading me, they decided that I was going to be moving away and they cut me off, which was a bit of a pain. So for the business, that was a bit troublesome for a few days. But we are back on now, and this will be uploaded very
soon.
So we are now out of lockdown. The lockdown here has gone, which is really good. We're not entirely out of lockdown, but it's certainly feeling that way in the UK. Retail is starting to open up a little bit. The barbers are opened up. You can meet at the pubs outside. So really, it feels like we are getting back to some sort of normality, although not exactly. But one of the key things for me was that I was able to get with Michael for the first time face to face in absolutely months. I haven't had a lesson in 2 months, not even an online lesson, but you know my thoughts on the online Skype lessons. It was great to keep up with Michael, but they really didn't do very much for me, and to be able to get back together is really good. So I've really given up on documenting the total number of hours and days that I've practiced, because I really want to sort of consider the last year being a bit of a write-off. That isn't entirely true, because I have been working, practicing. I have built strength in my hand. My stretch is better. My chords are getting better. My pentatonic scales are getting better. So everything is getting better, but it was more that I was just doing scales and exercises rather than going down the path that we had started on a year ago. And then obviously the pandemic and the lockdown stopped all of that. I wanted to go down the route of improvisation. That is really where I see my journey going and where I want to be. And when we were having the online lessons, we would start off with going through the exercise or the scale or whatever I've been practicing from the lesson before. And then half to 3/4 of the way through, Michael would say to me, okay, so what song do we want to learn next? And it got to the point where my heart would sink, because unlike a lot of people learning to play the guitar, I don't get a lot from just strumming along to another person's song. I don't get an awful lot from learning to play other songs. Yes, I want to go on to learn to play some of the Pink Floyd stuff and some of the Maiden stuff and one or two of the other things, but they're way beyond my capabilities at the moment. So learning some of the really simple songs, yes, I know I need to do it, but I did find them relatively boring, and as many of you will know, I did lose my way over winter with regards to that. Thankfully, the sun is out, the spring's here, the birds are singing, it's a lovely day, and I'm feeling a whole lot better. I've been practicing a lot more, which is good, both in the morning, a little bit at lunchtime, and most evenings. Well, I'm absolutely shattered from work, which is busy at the moment, but that's another story. So this lesson was quite interesting. It was more of a catch-up and a chat than I would say a music lesson. We did talk about vibrato because I am learning a new song and there is quite a bit of vibrato in there. And whilst I couldn't get in front of Michael, I did spend a little bit of time on YouTube looking at some of the lessons on there. And there are different ways of doing vibrato. One is to rock your finger from side to side, sort of violin style, which I was finding wasn't really working for me because of fretting the note. Another one was to move your hand in an unlocking motion, which would then give you more of a circular motion on the guitar. But that meant bringing my thumb over, which is something that Michael has been dissuading me from doing. And I found that quite uncomfortable. And what I'm actually preferring to do is to have my thumb at the back of the neck and then just to use my fingers to do the vibrato. And what was really interesting is I did take along the Mustang Micro amp for Michael to have a quick look at, and I gave him my guitar and he was playing, and I was watching how he was doing the vibrato, and that's exactly how he does it, the way that I find easier. So that was really, really useful. And again, that's something that we couldn't really talk about online. It needed to be sort of more of a face-to-face discussion. So we also talked about where we're going, because I really want to go down this road of improvisation. That's where my real passion and desire lies with the guitar, and I need to get back on that road before I do what I've done over the winter and the guitar goes away for too many days without coming out. I'm not going to lose sight of chords and scales though, because that is obviously very, very important, and it's something that I need to do. And chords still form part of my practice session every single time. So I'm not losing sight of those, but I am going to concentrate more on the riffs and the scales. And the song that I've picked to learn is very much pentatonic riff based, and that's really sort of, I feel as if that's moving me down the road that I want to go with improvisation, and I'm getting more into that than I was for some of the other things. And one of the other things I've been doing over the winter is talking to lots of people, and one of the discussions that came up and that got me thinking was, why are some people better at riffs and some people are better at chords? And this was going around my head for quite a while. And I find riffs easy, chords difficult. A friend of mine finds chords very easy and riffs very difficult. And it dawned on me that I think it's the route that you want to go. If you want to be a lead guitarist in a band, or like me, you just want to be noodling around improvising for yourself and your own enjoyment, then I think riffs is probably going to be easier because that's where your interest is. If you want to sit by the campfire, or you're maybe a part of a church and you want to do some worshipful songs and strum along to those, or you just want to strum along to your favourite song, then I think that maybe, you know, chords and rhythm is where your love is, and you'll find that easier. Buck, that I follow, he's really into fingerstyle. He's doing a lot of Fleetwood Mac stuff at the moment, and you can see the passion and how much he enjoys fingerstyle, and he gets on really, really well with that. So I think that my take is, I think that we tend to lean towards the style that fits what we want to do and what we want to learn. And for me, at the moment, that is sort of most definitely riffs. So, homework. My homework at the moment is to continue to work on the pentatonic scales. I'm still doing the 5 boxes of the E minor and also the A minor pentatonic. Those are the boxes of choice. And what I want to do is to continue to work on those and then be able to string them together. Can't do that for the moment, mainly because I've changed my fingering. When I was last with Michael, we were talking about fingering that would work for me because of the stiffness and the stretch in my hand and just having small hands and little fingers. I was having to finger the scales differently to how I would have wanted to, and most other people are fingering them. I am still going to have to use my little finger, that's not going to go away, but I am now trying to get my fingers across the 4 frets as I'm playing them, and that's certainly making life a little bit easier. I'm going to keep plugging away at the chords. Michael still wants me to do that, but I'm trying to move away from using my anchor finger all the time. If I'm going from the D to the G, then I'm not too bad because I've got an anchor finger. If I go to one or two of the other chords, I'm not too bad because I have an anchor finger. But where I struggle is when I lose that anchor finger and I have to, what I call helicopter fly my fingers in, so you've got to form them in the air and then drop them onto the strings. That's where it gets really, really difficult and I'm really struggling. And I think in practicing for such a long time over lockdown, using an anchor finger, I've really got used to that rather than trying to form them in the air. So I'm now trying to teach myself to do that. So that's one of the major things that I need to focus on right now. I have started to look at a new song. I will probably talk about that in a future video when I've got to grips with it. I'm only really working on the first few bars at the moment. It's from an amazing shred guitarist, probably the biggest shred guitarist in the world. I'm not into the shredding part of it. My fingers are just not going to move that fast and that doesn't interest me that much. But he has some amazing melodies and intros to his songs, and one of them has just caught my eye, or caught my ear actually, and I'm going to be working on that. I'm probably going to end up making it my own and changing some of the parts, but that again would be quite interesting with regards to improvisation and whether I've actually got that in me and whether I can do that. So that's something that we are going to be working on. And to learn that song, I'm actually breaking that down into chunks, what I call chunking. And a few people have asked me about how I go about learning my riffs and my songs. It is all chunking, and I will be doing a video on that as well very, very soon, I hope. So, all in all, we're now into spring. I'm a lot happier, I'm a lot better placed than I was a little while ago. From my next lesson, we're going to be doing an hour every 2 weeks. So we're going to be doubling the time with Michael. It is still only 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, because I want to have the time to practice in between, and life does have a habit of getting in the way. But I want to start moving forwards with regards to the improvisation. I want to be able to see the light at the end of that very dark tunnel. At the moment, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel as if I'm just sort of just going nowhere at the moment. I'm just doing exercises, learning bits and pieces of the odd song, scales and the like, which I know is all good and I know it's important, but there is a place that I want to go, and I want to be able to see that light at the end of the tunnel. And I've said to Michael, we've got 12 months. In 12 months' time, I will be reviewing where I am on that journey. If we aren't going down that route, if it is beyond my capabilities, if I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, then I will probably call it a day and then either revert back to just playing songs, maybe sell the gear. I don't know. We'll see where that is at the end of the year. I haven't really thought about that. I don't want to think about it. I'm in the mindset that I can learn to improvise. I will learn to improvise. I know it's going to be a very long road. I know it's 10 to 15 years before you can even become half decent at improvisation. And I'm not going to be able to do that overnight. And I know that a year is a very short time to review, but I'm going to be reviewing how it's going. And so long as I can see that it is going in the right direction, then I will continue. But for the moment, yeah, it's still a little bit of a dark tunnel that I'm going into, but a very exciting dark tunnel. I'm really, really up for this. I'm really pleased on the direction that we're going. Michael seems to be up for it. And I'm hoping that, yeah, 6 to 12 months, I might be just noodling around a little bit and building on the scales, the pentatonic scales work that I've been doing. So that's my update. For now, I've got to start work in about 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to just run through my song that I'm working on. And yeah, I'll see you on another video very soon. And I'm hoping they're going to be a little bit more regular now that we're getting back into regular lessons and things. And watch out for that chunking and the chord video that some of you have been asking me about. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing so that you get notifications of when they come out if you're interested in those. And if you like this video, please support me with a thumbs up. In the meantime, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Early days, still needs a lot of work, but yeah, I'm enjoying this one. Take care, see you later.